teach English classes. I have my own syllabus, okay? Now, how my syllabus works is actually quite unique. If you take a look here, right, I'm just going to show you. Take a look here. This is going to be the reading topic we're going to do today in one syllabus called Philosophy and Religion. But there are many other cycles of English class. And I've got here cycle A, conditionals, B, idioms, C, past tense review, present tense review, future tense review, environment matters, insights in English. It's all emotional. It's a matter of perception. Ghosts and the underworld. These 10 cycles are all available for, if you're a teacher, you can purchase those cycles in a bundle, which I will be putting on Patreon. All right? Or you can purchase them right here if you want. Just let me know. All right? It's 100 USD per lesson. So it comes up to $600 for the whole lesson, plus $200 for the video. Altogether $800, yeah, for a cycle. But let's look at what's inside each cycle. So today we're going into insights in English. And we have private viewing is cycle G, choice 2, which I'm not airing today because it's only for certain students. Choice 1 is astrology, and choice 3 is philosophy and religion. And each of these lessons, there is a reading topic on the world's philosophies, an atheist's plea for a godless world on the listening topic, writing an essay for peacemaking in our world, the message, the story of the Prophet Muhammad, which is a video comprehension question topic, the active and passive voice as applied to certain aspects of religion and philosophy, plus also a speaking topic, which is the world's religions, where you choose a religion to speak on. So today I'm just going to go through a reading topic, which I have already prepared here. Choice G, choice 3, philosophy, religions and insights, unit 37, the world's philosophies, a reading topic. All of these are my own copyright, yeah? So, we're going to first of all look at English reading through scanning and skimming. Without reading, and of course before all is read, take a look at the questions below to seek the answers provided in the text. Through skimming and scanning, an idea of the text will form. So what I have here are titles, which this actually comes from the IELTS format, you know. So there are titles here of each paragraph, all right? You are to label the paragraphs according to the titles. And then that's one already labeled there. 7, and then of course 8, 9, I think there are 10 paragraphs, I'm not so sure. So question 1 is paragraph labeling. This has been done for you already. All right. So in paragraph labeling, you're to label the paragraphs according to what is written in the paragraph. So I'm not going to review the answers because the answer is done here. This is an answer sheet, if anything. All right. What I'm going to do... What I'm going to do is I'm going to mention the titles that I have. African philosophy. So what you do is you need to go back to the paragraph and see which one stresses the word African. Maybe there's the word Ubuntu there or something. Muslim philosophers, ancient Greek philosophers, Western philosophy, Chinese philosophy, critics of Western philosophy, what is philosophy, the future of philosophy, and modern societal use of philosophy. Question 2 are meaning of phrases. Now, some of the paragraphs have phrases that have been underlined and highlighted. All right? List these phrases in the numbers given below and provide their meaning in your own words. So, one of the phrases are the nature of things, right? Is the nature of things. Okay, what does it mean, the nature of things? In your own word, what does that mean? Number 2, lost its golden age, especially in the modern sciences. What does that mean, according to the passage? And you can go back to the passage and see in the context what that means and read around it and see your answers. If people were to act contrary to their role in society, all right, number 4 is much, that was number 3. Number 4 is much empathy can be acknowledged. Number 5 is we must live and let live. Now, question 3 is usage of the phrases above. Now that you know the meaning of those phrases, use it in a sentence. Create your own sentence and use the phrases above. For example, the nature of things must be understood before we judge. Another example is a country could easily fall if its people were to act contrary to their role in society. All right, another one is, in order to live harmoniously, we must live and let live. This is how we use, all right? This is how we use, this is how we create sentences. It's been done already. But I'm not going to reveal that to you because this lesson is on sale for 100 USD, which you can purchase from me, together with its video and exercises, which I will assess personally, or I can give you a personal tutorial on it, should you desire. Just comment below that you want it. And all classes and all subsidiary things that come with it, like a tutorial, is $30. 30 USD for a private tutorial on Zoom anytime you like, plus $100 for purchase. Okay, if you want to use this for your own classroom. Part B is comprehension. So once you've gone through the scanning and skimming, you do comprehension. So now it says, read the text in full and answer the following questions. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to read the text in full, and then we're going to answer, and we're going to try and see if we can answer the following questions, or see if you can answer them. All right. So as I said, all of these things have yet to be labeled. Right. So here it is: the world's philosophies. All this is original work. I did it myself, all right? Paragraph 1, not yet defined. Figure it out in your scanning skimming, yeah? Philosophy can be defined as a love of wisdom. It comes from 2 ancient Greek words. Philo, which means the love of something. For instance, the city of Philadelphia, existed in ancient Greece as it does today in the USA. The word Adelphi means brother, and phila is a derivative of philo, which means love. This is why Philadelphia is known as a city of brotherly love. So it is the naming of philosophy, wherein the other ancient Greek word is Sophia, or wisdom in English. Hence, philosophy is the love of wisdom. All right, so that is the origin of the word philosophy. So if you love wisdom, you will be a philosophy student. And while you're learning English at this level, you're also learning philosophy. Paragraph 2. The love of wisdom as a subject matter is such a wide topic for discussion. Nearly every subject in the world today has to be justified by a philosophy of some sort. Today we call this the preamble or the rationale for a particular subject matter. For instance, in Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, members usually read out the preamble before beginning their meetings, stating out their disease state as a chronic condition, and that these meetings keep members sober and clean so long as they do not touch that first drink. The philosophy behind AA is that alcoholics are different to problem drinkers, and that having meetings are justified for the therapy an addict gains from sharing among themselves is without comparison. That is to say that only an alcoholic or an addict can help each other in maintaining in maintaining each other's sobriety. This is where philosophy has been either used or abused to justify social gatherings. Do check your local society preambles to understand why each social organization has been formed, and you'll get an idea that philosophy has been used widespread to reason the formation of modern societal establishments. Examples herein are the Toastmasters Society, the Freemasons, Leo or Lions Club International, Rotary clubs, etc., etc. Even your own school has a philosophy. Paragraph 3. Western philosophy, which was born in ancient Greece, is one of the most lasting philosophical traditions that exist today. It can be divided into 4 parts: epistemology, ethics, logic, and metaphysics. Epistemology is a study of knowledge and concepts. Ethics is a study of rightful moral conduct. Logic is about rationality and how we reason our ways through arguments and debates that can be judged to be either good or bad in the way it's presented. Lastly, metaphysics is a broad range of philosophy that deals with various topics such as reality, existence, objects, properties, language, mind, religion, science, mathematics, etc. So that's all in Western philosophy. Paragraph 4. In ancient Greece, there were many prominent philosophers who were responsible for birthing the ways we think in the West. This excludes Islamic, Chinese, Persian, and other ways of thinking. Much criticism of the West by other people who come from the inability to appreciate and understand Western thought and thinking. Especially in the West, rationalization and philosophy has been at the crux of why actions take place. Paragraph 5. I've been to Greece, by the way, and they say Socrates. Yeah? Socrates, or Socrates, 469 to 399 BCE, whose student was Plato, or in Greece, Plato, 427 to 347 BCE, and whose student was Aristoteles, in Greek, or Aristotle, 384 to 322 BCE, expanded the nature of philosophy. Okay, let's take a look again. Expanded the nature of philosophy to include a number of topics such as how people should act, how to arrive at a certain aspect of knowledge, as well as the nature of reality and the mind. These philosophers established various ways of looking at the nature of things. For instance, Plato believed that everything has its ideal, and that imperfect forms of that ideal is what forms matter, whereas Aristotle includes both matter and form in the same subject. For Plato, there is a universe of ideals, ideal objects, that is to say, the perfect dog, the perfect apple, pen, for instance. In contrast, Aristotle rebukes such a world as maintains that in an instant moment, upon pondering an apple, dog, or pen, the physical properties maintain both its matter, physics, and form, look. It's from Aristotelian logic that our sciences started to look at physical matter in its own right, rather than searching for that ideal or romance of a perfected origin which comes from Platonic thinking. Paragraph 6. Types of Islamic philosophies. Islamic philosophy derives from the Islamic world, notably Andalusia, Islamic Spain, Islamic Iberia, Spain and Portugal, Arabia and Iran. It was the result of combining the philosophical methods of ancient Greece with the rise of Islam after the 7th century CE. Islamic philosophy can be divided into 2. Falsafa, which includes logic, mathematics, and physics, and kalam, which literally means speech, and is a rationalist form of the scholastic Islamic theology that includes 3 schools of thought: Maturidiyya, Ashaira, and Mu'tazila. Paragraph 7. Avicenna ibn Sina, 980 to 1037 CE, a famous Muslim philosopher from Iran who wrote extensively on modern sciences such as medicine, psychiatry, alchemy, geology, mathematics, etc., in addition to Muslim canons such as the Holy Quran and Hadiths, helped to develop Islamic civilization at a time of its golden age. the late 12th century CE. Averroes ibn Rushd, 1126 to 1198 CE, who came from Andalusia, was a Muslim Aristotelian who argued against Neoplatonist ideologies of his time. He also furthered the cause for philosophy within Islamic thinking. It was not long after his death that philosophy in Islam declined to a point where it was considered haram after the works of Al-Ghazali. Both Avicenna and Averroes were much appreciated by the West, that there are versions of Avicennism and Averroism in Latin and Jewish formulations within European medieval thinking. It's said with the decline of Islamic philosophy at the time of Al-Ghazali that Islamic civilization lost its golden age, especially with the modern sciences. Paragraph 8. The central tenet for Chinese philosophy is how to become a righteous person, a perfect gentleman, a civilized man. Rather than contemplating on the physical universe, the Chinese preferred to understand and resolve issues relating to interpersonal relationships, family, governance, and self-cultivation. Two schools came out of this struggle to define a civilized man. They are Taoism and Confucianism, respectively. Taoism, founded by Lao Tzu, 6th century BCE, was all about the natural order of the universe. If we left things according to its nature, things will turn out well. Much criticized for its promotion of chaos and leaving things as they are, Taoism had much criticism. Their main critique would have been Confucianism. This philosophy was founded by Kung Tzu, whose Latinized name became Confucius. He maintained that a well-ordered society is based on people acting their rightful part in the hierarchy. For instance, rulers must be just and fair to the ruled. The ruled must be loyal. Sorry for that, you saw my cup for a while. Maybe that's a bit of philosophy too. Must be loyal subjects to their rulers. Mothers and fathers must be benevolent to their children, while children must show obedience to their parents. He believed that if people were to act contrary to their role in society, chaos would loom and society would break down. So do you see, when you do your scanning and skimming, you've got to look at this part, yeah? All right, if people to act contrary to society. So you read around it to find the meaning, define it, and then create sentences for it. That way, you have a mastery of that part of the English language. Paragraph 9. There are some places in the world where philosophy has been so localized that it takes only a particular ethnicity to truly understand it. This is called ethno-philosophy, and it assumes that a specific culture can have a philosophy that is not applicable nor accessible to other people in the world because it deals with specific issues pertaining to that culture or ethnicity. This is the case with African philosophies. In other words, African philosophy can be defined as Africans simply applying their understanding of the world as they see it, from their own experiences of reality. It's the critical African thinker and experiencer who is the philosopher in this philosophical system. Like Western philosophy, it contemplates the nature of time, personhood, space, and nature. Examples of African philosophy are Ubuntu and Yoruba, among many others. Today, a modern African philosopher, Akile Mbembe, I'm sorry if I mispronounce it, stated in his work Critique of Black Reason that Africans must stop thinking of Europeans as being at the center of the world, but reimagine a multiple world in existence at the same time. That way, he reasons, much empathy can be acknowledged within a diverse worldview. Paragraph 10. This brings us nicely to a survey of the world's philosophies. There are many other philosophies from around the world, such as in Latin America and India, that were not covered here. As a student interested in philosophy and why people think a certain way, you could take up philosophy as a major in university for your undergraduate studies. The subject comes under social sciences in some institutions, as it does humanities or liberal arts in others. What's vital in this survey is to understand and appreciate the world's philosophies and that various civilizations focused on differing things, which make for a panorama of thought cultures in mixed and modern societies. It's necessary to not only recognize it, but learn to live in harmony with these differences, as the arena of philosophy and religion, if left alone, has caused severe conflict, division, and harm. Our survival hitherto depends on a deep understanding of philosophy and religion without adopting its more divisive and hateful tendencies. We must live and let live. So, that's the whole reading. So now we're going to comprehension questions, yeah? All right, so we have the comprehension questions where we have read the text in full, and we're going to tackle the comprehension questions. Read the text in full and answer the following questions. So there are 10 questions, A to J, within this question. Answer all the questions below based on the correct option. All right, so all of the following are false except what? Okay, I've actually answered this question for you. All the following are false except number 1, Ibn Rushd and Ibn Sina were African philosophers. Okay. Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle were ancient Greek philosophers. Plato and Aristotle did not agree on the nature of things. African philosophy is based on ethno-philosophy. So, what do you think is the answer? It's stated there as number 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all correct. Now remember, we use a double negative here. All of the following are false, except this is something that IELTS does a lot, to confuse you so that you answer wrongly. The idea is to confuse you so that you understand the question first. Read the questions. It's asking you to give correct answers, even though it is titled, all of the following are false, except. It's not asking you to list the false ones. It's asking you to list the right ones. But it's not saying list the right ones. It's saying all of the following are false, except double negative. That is an IELTS trick, and it's used a lot of times in IELTS. All right, and if you do these reading exercises with me, another good thing is that you're preparing for your IELTS. No, okay, B, question B, Ibn Rushd believed that blank was compatible with number 1, Christianity, Judaism, 2, Islam, philosophy, 3, Buddhism, Hinduism, 4, rationalism, Neoplatonism. C, Al-Ghazali was responsible for the collapse of Western civilization, the collapse of Jewish civilization, the collapse of the African Golden Age, or the rejection of philosophy in Islam. Rejecting philosophy in Islam caused the collapse of the Islamic Golden Age, the collapse of the African Golden Age, the collapse of Western civilization, the collapse of Chinese civilization. Let's be honest. Okay, let's be honest. When philosophy and rationalization is not permitted in a system of religion, that religion will go down. Because freedom to rationale is freedom to develop. The intellect is important. Well, we've got to be honest here, yeah? Plato believed that there is such a thing as a perfect object. All objects as they are physical and material. Did he believe in that? Objects can transform into spirits. Spirits are behind all objects. Aristotle believed that what? There is a universe of perfection to which all objects come from, such as the normal dog came from the perfect dog. All objects are as they are. The material and physical form can be observed with the naked eye in the present moment. For instance, when you see a dog, it's a dog. All objects have a soul to which it returns to upon its death. For instance, the death of a pen means that the spirit of the pen has returned to its soul. All objects can only work once animated by spirit. For instance, for a pen to work, its spirit must be invoked through some kind of ceremony. Now, G, African philosophy is similar to what philosophy? Chinese philosophy? Islamic philosophy? Western philosophy? Ubuntu philosophy? So questions H, I, and J are based on the answers given below. So there are answers here given below, and all you need to do is put, what is it? H, is it I, or is it J? Number 1 is self-regulation, morality, and governance deriving from correct order. Number 2, each ethnicity has the right to choose aspects of philosophy relevant to their own experience, and that negates a universal experience of philosophy, but one exclusive to a particular tribe, such as with the Yoruba and Ubuntu in Africa. What does that say about something? And treat Islamic ideals such as what was written in the Holy Quran and Hadith can combine with Greek understanding of medicine, astronomy, and alchemy. And lastly, we can understand ourselves better through logic, epistemology, metaphysics, and ethics. And H is ethnophilosophy means what? Okay. I, Chinese philosophy is based on what? And J, Western philosophy was invented so that, so forth. Question 5 are subjective questions. From reading to writing, there are 2 questions. Choose only one. Write a 3-paragraph essay on what you understand about a given philosophy below. Choose one philosophy only. Western, Islamic, Chinese, or African philosophy. And you're to write an essay. In this short essay, what you like about the philosophy and whether it is practical for today must be mentioned. Okay, if a chosen topic is Western philosophy, you have 3 paragraphs, for instance. Your first paragraph, you do an introduction to Western philosophy, who are the ancient Greek philosophers, for instance. Second paragraph, main issues of Western philosophy, the focus on ethics, metaphysics, epistemology, and logic. Ethics is the right thing to do, what is right and what is wrong. Epistemology is the study of concepts and ideas such as democracy. How do you have democracy if there is no freedom of ideas and a concept that people can rule themselves? In fact, democracy comes from Greek demos, people, kratos, reign of the people, demos kratos, democracy. Metaphysics, okay, the study that philosophy can be applied to anything. Example, philosophy of religion, philosophy of science, philosophy of politics, and the philosophy of objects or nature. Logic, the structure of reason and argument that it is fair and cohesive. In your third paragraph, give this conclusion. Only 3 paragraphs. How practical is Western philosophy today? Has it been used and abused to some extent? Why is it your favorite choice? Seeing there are other philosophies out there. Perhaps maybe Western philosophy is better over Chinese philosophy, because we're not about cultivating the best human being. We're about cultivating physical matter and understanding the nature of reason. If that is your focus, you see, it's all relative. Your maximum words should be 300 words, and you can always email me. But if I were to mark this, you need to pay the fee of $30 per assignment. Now, the second question is write a summary of not more than 300 words on the comprehension text you have just heard above. A summary. All right, here is an answer given by a student. All right, I'm just going to give you that. She got 98%. I gave her grade A+ for it. All right, she wrote 291 words, which is good. And her answer is this. Philosophy is a systematic study of general and fundamental questions. By the way, she is Malaysian. She is an ESL student of a particular level, very high. And that is suited for this, which is pre-intermediate to intermediate level for English. All right, so this is what she wrote. Okay. Oops, okay. There you go. Yeah, she wrote that. I'm just going to read it. Philosophy is a systematic study of general and fundamental questions concerning topics like existence, reason, knowledge, value, mind, and language. Western philosophy, which was born in ancient Greece, is one of the most lasting philosophical traditions that exist today. It can be divided into 4 parts: epistemology, ethics, logic, and metaphysics. Perfect paragraph. Perfect introduction. Tells me what it is. Now she goes in the second paragraph, which is longer because she has to describe all these elements of Western philosophy. Epistemology is the study of knowledge and concepts. It is also called the theory of knowledge. It examines what knowledge is and what types of knowledge there are. It further investigates the source of knowledge, like perception, inference, and testimony, to determine how knowledge is created. Ethics is the study of rightful moral conduct. It is also called moral philosophy. This discipline is concerned with what is morally good or bad and morally right and wrong. The term is also applied to any system or theory of moral values or principles. Ethics deals with such questions at all levels. Logic is about rationality and how we reason our ways through arguments and debates. That can be judged to be either good or bad in the way it is presented. Logic is often seen as the study of the laws of thought, correct reasoning, valid inference, or logical truth. Metaphysics is a broad range of philosophy that deals with various topics such as reality, existence, objects, properties, language, mind, religion, science, mathematics, etc. Metaphysics examines the fundamental nature of reality, including the relationship between mind and matter, between substance and attribute, and between potentiality and actuality. Western philosophy is based on a more rational and empirical approach, focusing on individualism, rationality, and the pursuit of happiness. Western philosophy has gained worldwide popularity in the modern world because it encourages broader understanding of philosophical concepts, human thought, and society development. 291 words. Very good. Some grammatical mistakes here and there, some loose ends here and there. Maybe it would have been good for her to use some sequence connectors here and there, but nevertheless, it really does answer the question on Western philosophy and gives us an idea of what that philosophy is about in a very brute, honest, and clear manner. No going around the bush, no literary anachronisms here and there. It's just 3 paragraphs of 300 words. That's your first assignment. You can choose that or a summary of the text above for your subjective part of this lesson. So this is the standard of my English classes. This is quite a high standard, though there are some lower standards out there. And this is actually quite suitable for ESL students who are in the pre-intermediate, intermediate to advanced stages of learning English so that they can pursue IELTS, TESOL, and the like before entering universities. So you see, there's a lot of opportunity to use my material here, and I would highly suggest that you do so. So please do like, subscribe, and comment. Particularly comment about joining my classes. All right, for only $30 US. You can choose any class you like. Personal tutorial. I'm at your beck and call. Please try and do so soon enough because slots do cover up really fast, and I only have a certain amount of time throughout the day. But at the same time, if you are a teacher or if you are a student that wants to do private study, I can always provide you the material per module is $100 USD. The whole thing is $800 USD for the whole program. Includes a ready-made video together with all the things. And if you need my help, I will readily give it to you for free if you purchase the package. All right, so you can purchase a package for your own use, or you can have a class. The option is yours. And I thank you for listening. All right.